Just a few fellas on a podcast, ripping in the pitching jokes and sharing some laughs. Rob Ryan, Jerry Bernstein. Ooh, they want to know if it's something, if it's anything. Often featuring Leedy Corbin.
What's going on with everybody? Who's got something for the catch-up? I want to hear about it.
I wanted to add something that my dad said when he was talking still about kind of like metaverse, video games, whatever. He works at a house for adults who can't really take care of themselves. He works with other people. Most of the employees are like in their early 20s and try to like skirt responsibilities and just like, whatever, is my job. I work with, idiots who can't take care of themselves. And he's like, oh, God, you guys are the worst. So they'll just be in the living room and they'll be playing video games actually quite often. And he was complaining to me about video games. He's like, this guy wants me to play a video game, and he's just driving around for 20 minutes just trying to get to the thing he's supposed to do. He's like, I already have a shitty life driving around in traffic. Why would I go and drive in traffic again? He's so mad about the normalcy before the cool stuff happens in like GTA.
I do remember at one point I had downloaded, I pirated a Assassin's Creed game, and this is at my brokest I've ever been in my entire life, like full on taking out credit card with 0% APR interest for a year and a half so that I could afford to pay rent and still like buy groceries and stuff like that. I was just like, I was in the red a lot, but I was like, also working all the time and doing shows at night, and I was like, I had a day off, and I was like, I'm gonna play this video game, and I spent like the full day playing the game, and I was really making a lot of money in the game, and it dawned on me, I was like, I need to spend my time elsewhere.
To make money in real life. That's amazing.
Well, the problem is it's so much easier to make money in video games than it is in real life. You know what I mean? Because you didn't have to stop to buy your character food and shelter and electricity and cell phone plan. True.
And also when I make money in person, like if I do a gig and they pay me, it doesn't like go like ka-ching, 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 and then a bunch of bright colors that feel really satisfying to me.
Yeah, those noises are such a part of what makes us addicted to video games. There was a game that Hofstetter and I were both playing, only I always played it without the sound and he played it with the sound, and he was that much more addicted to it because of that.
That's a great experiment.
One time, Steve was like, we were on tour and we were doing the show in Reno, and it's like all these people coming out to see him, and he's just like playing the game, and then like eventually they're like, please welcome Steve Hofstetter, and he's like, can you just real quick learn? And he tried to get me to learn the game real quick so I could take over for him. Well, instead of like going on stage, like right before he went on, I was like, Steve, priorities.
I feel like we should rename the show like, Is This Anything? Comedians working on jokes. And also we like roast Steve Hofstetter like a lot.
I mean, I could do a
very big part of our lives.
We could do the same thing about each other, It's just what happens when you're on the road for somebody for more than a week, let alone a month and a half. And we say it with love, I think.
Well, another Chris asks, are any of us going on tour with Steve in Canada this year? Is anybody doing a Canada stretch with Steve? I don't know if he's booked it yet. I haven't gotten any messages about it.
So.
This is a passive aggressive way to find out if Steve is touring in Canada because he hasn't listed dates. Like, do you guys know anything? Well, the truth is that you guys know before we do, because the tickets go on sale before the tour is officially put together. Because if Steve is for some reason not selling in a region, which is rare, then he's like, well, we're not booking that gig there, But it's also like, oh, we're selling here, and we got to add a double show, so we'll definitely hit that place and all that stuff. So it's all planned that way. But yeah, I know that Jarret and I are going to be going on the first 2 weeks of a tour starting at the end of March.
March 30th. Woo-hoo!
March 30th. So I'm excited about that. And Leedy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Brett and Jarret.
Brett and Jarret. And that's everybody.
And then the second 2 weeks of April, Leedy and I are going to be going on tour.
Oh!
And Rivers is going to be there.
And Rivers, my Pablo.
But he's just doing that because he's a bastard child. that true?
Is
Did I
that
get
is
right?
that a Game of Thrones reference?
Yeah, it was. But I only heard of Snow and Sands, but I didn't know if Rivers was one of them. Who cares? But I feel like I nailed it.
Funny, no, you did. I got it. The funny story about that. Steve was once telling me about Rivers before I knew him very well, and he was like, "Do you know who his dad is?" And I was like, "Oh my God, did his dad invent Rivers?" And Steve laughed, and then he never told me who his dad is. And and then for years I just didn't know. And then when I opened for Rivers, he was telling me like, "Oh yeah, my dad used to be like a huge comedy person in the Midwest. He was like a big radio personality." And I was like, "Oh really?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then he mentioned some things, and I was like, he mentioned this that he'd done these parody songs, and one of them was a parody of walking around in a winter wonderland, but it was walking around in women's underwear.
Wait, that was him?
That was Andrew Rivers' father, Bob Rivers. And I remember listening. It's like one of the first comedy things I've ever listened to. My mom had a tape deck of it, and I listened to it when I was really young. And I was like, "This is the funniest thing." I still remember lyrics from it, and I had no idea. Like, I wish that I could be like, I could have told my mom before she passed, like, "Hey, remember that guy that you had that tape from? I know his son, and I know him. I met him. He's seen me perform."
So cool.
I do want to go back to this idea that his dad invented rivers, though. Like his dad is just going to small towns, just being like, "Not a lot of water going through here. Oh, I've got something that's going to make this town really sing. Yeah. What if I told you water sometimes travels that way to that way a little bit?"
He's
Superman. Hugh Jackman.
he's like the piano. He's the piano man, but with Rivers. Is that what's going on?
You mean the music man?
Music Man.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's walking around R with a capital I, and that stands for Rivers.
Dizzy by Nature says, "Creeks are yesterday's news. Let me tell you about rivers." Excellent content, Dizzy.
Leave the ocean for the fishies. We need a river.
You know, we should get on here as a guest is Andrew Irrigation.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, Andrew Irrigation really paved the way for Rivers.
Andrew Irrigation watered so that Andrew Rivers could swim.
There you go. I like it.
It's not worth it.
Doggy paddles.
Yeah, doggy paddles. Comedy's a lot of analogies.
A lot of analogies.
Here's some comedy that's not analogies.
Ooh.
I told Leedy about how one time I was really on the edge of getting fired from Trader Joe's, and all I had to do was not show up late. And I woke up early one day, and I was like, "I'm gonna not be late today. This is great." I got up early, and then I like took a shower. I had some coffee, and then I just got stuck in the mirror doing an impression of Alan Rickman, and I just kept going, "Very good, Mr. Potter."
Sorry.
I told Leedy that, and then for the next 6 hours, we just kept going to each other, going, "Very good, Mr. Potter," and always.
Was this, so were you late? Did you end up being late?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Excellent. There was a restaurant that I used to work for had on-call shifts where you would call in the morning and then they would say whether or not they were so busy that you needed them to come down. And the rule was if they told you to come, you had to be there in something like 45 minutes. And I lived in Park Slope at the time. This restaurant was in Soho. So if I got off the phone and left immediately, there was a chance that I was going to make it. But I was always so upset that I would be called in for on these days that I would take a shower, I'd make myself some breakfast, and I would stroll in like an hour and a half late.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got fired.
What?
For
I
sexual
know.
harassment.
Jarret, I want to talk to you about what you did yesterday after you arrived 45 minutes late.
You know who's on time today? Those honkers. Bow, bow, bow.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I got fired from that job.
That's awesome. I have a story that dates back to the driving talk when we were talking about driving.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
We'll allow it, I guess.
There's no rules. All right? There's no rules. It's not like that's 3 moves further in a conversation that you're allowed to go, Rob Ryan.
You know what was even weirder? In high school, there's this girl who I think she liked me or something. I don't even know. But I did something like that we were driving in the car, and then I said, hey, and I brought up something from like 2-3 conversations ago, and I was like, yeah, it reminds me, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, you always do that. You always do that. You just bring something up, and we haven't been talking about it for like 30 minutes. And I was like, do you want to make out? Like, what's going on? I don't understand.
Rob, I don't think you read that vibe right.
Well, to this day, I can't figure it out. But
he was telling that story to his friends, like, can you believe how horny that girl is?
Was it on a list of things that she hates about you? And there were 8 others, and one was that she hates the way that you make. I forget what she says in the movie.
I forget too. I like the idea of
the rest of the joke.
Me never picking up on the fact that people are angry with me. Like, I just get fired from my job. I'm like, geez, someone's got the hots for me, I guess. Keep it in your pants, lady. Jeez.
Yeah, serving you divorce papers would be impossible because you'd be like, oh, it's back on.
So I was in the car with my dad one time, and this was the complete opposite of overreacting. Just for whatever reason, I just had this amazing read on underreacting. Thank you, boy, man. I've been playing Wordle lately, and it only gives you 5-letter words, so everything else has been falling out the window for me.
Must be rough on your students.
Like, I know spoon.
When Rob can't guess the word, he's like, that word must like me. I don't know.
Is the word love?
HORNY. Horny. Augustus Percival says, is this show a man-made lake? Because damn, it's funny.
Gus, how long do you work on that?
I love that.
All right. Does anybody else have anything for the catch-up before I bring up my catch-up thing that nobody ever asked me about?
I just want to say you guys sound like a bunch of nerdles. Okay, go ahead.
Nice.
Oh my god.
So I was in the car with my dad. We're on the Long Island Expressway. We're all on the right lane, and there are 3 lanes. Okay,
Rob, this is from like 30 minutes ago.
And every time we do this, just makes me want to kiss you.
So we're in the car, and we're driving in the right lane, and for some reason, I'm like kind of looking at the cars, and I noticed that it seems like from the leftmost lane, I believe, like a car is about to merge over into the middle lane, and which is probably going to cut off the guy from like the middle lane. And then I kind of also noticed that the guy from the right lane seems to want to get over to the left lane, but I know he's not going to be able to because the guy from the leftmost lane is moving into the middle lane where he's about to go. And then I see like 4 cars ahead, someone brakes suddenly. And I just kind of like look at all that. I was like, hey, Dad, go over, change lanes and do it twice. And he's like, what? And he just he does it, and then he does it again. And then like everything played out exactly as it looked like it may have. Like, the guys braked in front. The car had to stop suddenly, couldn't move to the left. He moved over, and then these guys all stopped short. And then the next thing happened. These guys all stopped short, and then he got all the way over the left lane. And he looked at me, and he's like, what the fuck? How did you? He's like, and you did it so calmly. I remember that for years. I was like, I saw it, and I just didn't want to freak you out. So I was like, just move over and then do it again. Anyway, that was just my
should have been like, and your lucky numbers are 5.
And don't go to the restaurant. What does that mean?
I'm shocked
Swing away.
Didn't question you. He just did it.
He just did it. Yeah.
You probably tapped into some of that like tonal suggestive things that hypnotists do.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I remember a video coming out a few years ago. So what happens in this video is this guy goes to the racetracks. He bets he loses the bet on the I think it's a dog race or a horse race, and he has the ticket that says the horse that lost. He hands it to the person, and he goes, "This is the winning ticket." And then the person is like, no, it's not. And he's like, this is the winning ticket. And they're like, yes, it is. And they cash him out. And what he's doing is he's slapping, the second time he suggests it, he's slapping the like board, creating like a sharp sound. And whatever it is about the tone of that, it resets. It's like a reboot in people's brains, where it just starts fresh. And in that moment, they're just impressionable. So if he can time it out perfectly, whatever that first thing he says, people are like, yes, that's the thought I had, and that's correct. But yeah, it was something to do with resetting the synapses in your brain with a sharp kind of jolting the nervous system. And it's really, really fascinating, that stuff.
I just watched. I had a weird experience last night because I started by watching like a video about the CIA experiments that are oddly linked to Charles Manson and his murders. Like that is a little bit, we don't know. And that relationship could be potentially just tenuous, I'm not sure. But the very real and verifiable experiments that the CIA did with LSD in the late 40s, early 50s after this drug was first invented.
Called again?
MK Ultra?
MK Ultra is the umbrella of all of those experiments. And then there was one more specific one that had to do with, in California, getting these Johns to come in and have sex with these prostitutes, but then they were drugging them with LSD and they're just looking at them being like, oh, wow, this guy's freaking out.
What?
Oh my God, what a night.
Yeah. They're like, what?
All right, that was great. Thanks. You're not leaving. You're going to trip. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the drug was so new and they just were like, we need to know what this is. But we're not going to do it ethically. We're just going to, drug citizens and see what happens. So that's what we know about. That's what's verifiable and absolutely did happen. So this weird relationship that Charles Manson kept on coming into this very facility that was running these other experiments, and then they were literally trying to figure out if this Manchurian Candidate scenario could really play out, in part because there were some soldiers that came back from Korea and they swore that they had been they feel like they had been brainwashed because they were saying shit that didn't make any sense. And they're like, oh my God, are the Koreans brainwashing our soldiers? So they're like, we have to figure this out. And then they're like, we need to brainwash people. And then they're like, we need to figure out how to brainwash people so that they could kill people and do something against their will by hypnotizing them. And then they have this powerful psychedelic drug. Charles Manson just happens to be intimately related and connected to this very facility doing these experiments, and then he just happens to do something wildly similar to the very thing that they were setting out to see if people could and would do, which is effectively go crazy and kill people. You know what I'm saying? But in a more targeted way, not in a cult-like way. Anyway, I watched that video and then I fall asleep to it, and then YouTube just plays. I mean, what a night.
Anyways, don't show Rob the color red because.
I wake up to Edward Snowden talking to Joe Rogan. I was like, this was a night. There's stuff in my brain.
I like how the way you're describing the story. It's like I was watching a very normal video when I went to sleep. And then when I woke up, it was crazy conspiracy videos.
It actually was the opposite. It was very funny. Yeah, because then I was like, what videos did I watch? And it's just all of similar veins. Like, did you know this?
Me and Kirsten and a bunch of her friends, we did mushrooms once, and we were on YouTube just like looking at videos of falcons flying and, waves crashing and things like that. And then after we've been watching videos like this for like an hour, we didn't stop a video in time, and the suggestion screen popped up, and 3 of them were like white supremacist right-wing videos. And I was wow. What is going on with YouTube's algorithm where they're like, oh, you like waves crashing, huh? Well, you ever think Jews might be evil? You ever think about that?
Have you ever seen The Wave? Because there's a connection there. That's a movie about it's a movie about how they could convince high schoolers to basically become Nazis.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah.
You guys never saw The Wave?
Never saw The Wave, no.
Well, according to ITA lore, waves have been co-opted by the Nazis.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So that is
like the cheer waves? Because I've never seen those videos of Hitler being like, and then they're all like, oh!
They got halfway there. They're like,
oh, okay. That's good.
Every Hitler rally, he is just desperately trying to explain the wave to people. He's like, yes, you put your hands up. Yes. Yeah. And everyone's like, yeah. He's like, no, but there's a whole timing thing.
That's why he gets so frustrated. He pounds the podium.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not listening to me.
Going back to what you were saying about that all starting, the MK Ultra basically starting from soldiers coming back from Korea. Was it?
Yeah.
And saying that they had been brainwashed. I like to imagine that they just like came back with venereal diseases and then had to tell their wives. They were like, "Oh, I think I was brainwashed," and they're like, "Really? We should tell your boss." And he's like, No." They're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna tell your boss because that sounds bad." You're like, "Yeah, and now I want to kill."
I was a POW.
That is bananas. You
Before
wanna
we
check in
get to Jared's story that we're avoiding so
Yeah.
much, I want to read some
I've never heard
comments.
you guys talk so much. Now that there's just the threat of me saying a thing,
Jared's like sweating.
I can't wait to tell you guys about.
He's playing along with the bits, but still like smiling. Johnny says Charlie was tied in with so much. I just read Danny Trejo's book, and he had an interaction with him in jail before he became the cult leader.
Ooh.
I like that you didn't tell us what it was. That's a good sales pitch for Danny Trejo's book. Okay, Jarret, what's going on with you?
I'm sick.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Sorry to hear that, man. More than usual?
Yeah. I started getting these achy, fatiguey, fever feelings like on Sunday. And yesterday was even worse. So,
Oh no.
I'm officially sick. And me and Kirsten were supposed to go see my mom this weekend, but we had to cancel that trip because, you can't be traveling around the time when you're sick these days because it's very irresponsible. You gotta be a good citizen, stay the fuck home.
Unless it's 5 days later.
5 days later.
That's right. 5 days later.
I love that most recently, a certain like subset of liberals that I know were just like so mad at the CDC being like, 10 days, now it's 5 days. It's like, what is he? It's like, do they even know what they're talking about? And then so many conservatives are just like, yeah. you think the CDC might be just making shit up as they go? Yeah. All right. Good for you.
I hate this, Rob. I hate this so much.
It was so funny. I'm like, it was the weirdest thing. I saw these memes like, they didn't even know what they're talking about. I was like, what? Did you hear yourself? If it goes from 10 to 5 days, it's a big conspiracy. Jeff Bezos is behind it. I was like, okay. But if it's 10 days, it's like, it's the fucking science. They're scientists, all right? Would you listen to the science? And I'm like, yeah. It was very funny to me.
Oh, I hate this.
Really?
I hate this.
Hilarious. Jared, I don't mean to take away from your story, but I am also sick.
Oh no, Rob Ryan.
You guys sounded a little groggy coming in, and I was wondering if it was just you guys, because it's so cold today, that you guys woke up like, I just want to sleep. And I don't mean to take away from you guys, but Leedy and I felt sick last week.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it only lasted like a couple days. We like first day we were feeling not so good. We thought it was going to get worse, and then from then on it was like we were still sick a little bit the next day, but then it was gone. So
I love this new relationship with sick. Like, this is the way it should have always been. I got a little tickle in my throat, and I'm just like, I can't, man. I just can't. I can't go on the train.
It's irresponsible.
I can't
It is
go
irresponsible.
To work. I texted one of my parents. I was like, I'm feeling a little fatigued. I don't know, whatever. And she's like, oh, you stay home. And I was like, that's so nice. That's what I wanted sick always to be. Just like, I have the black lung. That's what I want.
So that's what's up with me. I've just been, laying about, watching television, playing video games like a sick person. All right, let's go through some of these comments and then get to the jokes. Charlie, just as Johnny, Charlie was able to hypnotize inmates into feeling high. Started with guided meditation about smoking pot. Then later, they did it again with shooting heroin.
oh,
Bananas. Dizzy by nature, I'm 6'2", just staying in for a couple weeks and taking it easy. Dizzy, I am right there with you. Me and Rob also. Augustus Percival, was Brett diagnosed with incurable handsomeness?
Oh, my father knows that.
Johnny replies, it's terminal. If looks could kill, they probably will.
I don't know about the science on that.
Another Chris asked, did anybody watch Don't Look Up yet? I watched it and I liked it.
Rob,
Don't Look Up. Ooh, boy,
you liked it.
Did I?
Rob didn't.
Ooh,
Rob
did
did not.
I know how he felt about it.
I texted.
Why did you text me, Rob? Why did you text me?
Actually, you know what? Go ahead. Read
Is it because
the
you
I'll
said
read you the
something-
text and you'll know why he didn't text you, Jarret.
Don't tell Jarret, but I hated this movie, and anybody who liked it is an idiot.
Have you seen Don't Look Up at all? I said, I haven't. Would you recommend it? For me, it is extremely hard to even watch. It just feels like the most embarrassing, clever, liberal thing ever created. Remember when Robert De Niro said, fuck Trump at the Tonys? This was Robert De Niro says, fuck Trump at the Tonys, the movie. Just an inelegant, on-the-nose, heroin for Trump haters, spoon-fed a hate letter to the old administration, through the most thinly veiled allegory disguising itself as a clever metaphor. It's a 2.5-hour Patton Oswalt tweet, and I do not like Donald Trump. But if you just want some easy-to-swallow liberal gruel taking empty pot shots 4 years too late, it's pretty good.
That actually sounds like I'd love it. Sounds great.
Rob, it's not about Trump. It's about Democrats.
No, it's about. That's not about Democrats. It's like it's supposed to be about the fucking global crisis, climate change, whatever.
I mean, the way that I justify it is that this is not a Republican or a Democrat. This is a politician representing the machine of Washington.
If he wanted to do that, he certainly failed because he just could not. I just want to meet Republicans so bad. So huge miss and just so on the nose absurd. And no, I'm not taking. I mean, even if Adam McKay himself is like, no, this is exactly what it was. I feel like, well, you fucked up, dude. Meryl Streep is bad in the movie. It's just. I was going to mention it
she
earlier.
She never does anything wrong, not on screen, not in her life.
I know. I watched the fucking Devil Wears Prada, and here's this like 3-dimensional human who's so like, oh my God, I get her, I hate her, but whatever, like, you know, she just got that nuance. And then whatever this garbage is, I'm like, what? I was like, we get it. You don't. Jesus, what a movie.
I will admit that it was
Not
very on the nose. You know, like there's
Right.
this was a real sledgehammer of a metaphor, and it was not subtle. You know,
Silly Rat says the movie was so on the nose, it could have been a long one-shot close-up of a nose.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so her following, Meryl Streep's following.
Rob, come on, man.
What are you saying? Come on, man. Do you remember the phrase "Don't look up"? Do you remember the hordes of white trash Republicans who followed blindly? Do you think that Meryl Streep wasn't a Donald Trump like
I said, I think that she was, but he's very vague about whether or not she's Republican or Democrat because Adam McKay has said that the intention is to make fun of all of politics, all of government, and not just specifically Republicans or Democrats. Now, that being said, I think that when he's trying to make a criticism about Democrats, sometimes he uses the character of Meryl Streep, sometimes he uses the character of Leonardo DiCaprio, etc. But if you're saying, if you're asking me, like, look at all of the data in the movie, is there more Republican bullshit or Democrat bullshit? You're right. It's more Republican bullshit, of course.
Right, but I mean, the argument would be that there is more Republican bullshit in the out there, so which I would agree with.
Let's get to the jokes.
We have more comments now.
Yay! Yes.
As soon as you guys started debating, Dizzy by nature said in all caps, "Let's get to the jokes."
Yeah, I agree, Dizzy. I agree.
I love this because I haven't seen the movie and I got to just tune out, but hear exactly what I said. Because I could have easily let this just go by. Rob didn't hear Jarret say he liked Don't Look Up. He was distracted, and I was like, no, Rob, didn't you have an opinion? Don't Look Up compared to Idiocracy from Another Chris.
I think Idiocracy probably a better movie.
I love Idiocracy. I just think the comedy in it is so dumb and enjoyable. Welcome to Walmart. I love you. Johnny says Brett saw a pool of gasoline and threw a Zippo at it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And we are caught up. Jarret, do you have an order for us today?
I sure do. I'm sick. First, our order today is Rob, Brett, Jarret.
All right.
Rob, Brett, Jarret. Rob, Brett, Jarret. That's our order for today. Rob, Brett, Jarret.
Robert Jarret. Yeah. So okay,
Is it?
I'll do.
There are too many letters that are more than words with more than one letter.
Okay, so here's very much a stupid idea. My roommate had mentioned how Drake was somehow we were getting on like celebrities and whatever, and then he mentioned how Drake was like kind of accused of, or it seemed like he was grooming certain people in Hollywood. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, what? Who? And they're like, Stranger Things, 11.
Oh yeah.
Oh, actually, I did read about that. That's right.
Okay. So, and when I heard 11, I was like, 11? That's so young. And then I was very. And then we went on like a little who's on first thing for a while about.
Oh my god.
About who Drake was grooming exactly. No, the character from she is 11. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, that's about as far as it goes, but it was funny to me, and I wanted to bring it to you guys.
The actress, yes. The actress that Drake is grooming, yes. The actress that played 11, yes. I can't believe it.
And I was trying to think, and I haven't given it more thought, but I was wondering if there was more numbers and just more ages and names that could be funny.
Who's on first? Hopefully not Drake. if first is an actor.
I mean, I can't think of any other actors that just played characters that their names were numbers.
There was someone named Seven, I think.
7? Was there a 7? I don't remember there being a 7.
Oh, yeah. You know what also came up? Kevin Spacey, who was in the movie Seven, so we could bring that up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Kevin Spacey, by the way, if you want to see a really good acting role, in American Beauty, he's about to hook up with a minor, then doesn't. That guy's got range.
Where did that come from, Rob?
If it were true to life, he would be about to hook
Same
up
conversation.
would have been to he was about to hook up with a minor, and then before he did, he went, "I'm gay, it's okay." And then what is his name? Donnie Darko, Jake Gyllenhaal. He doesn't throw his kids at anybody's feet in that film. What a masterpiece of acting work.
Yeah.
Hey, Donnie Darko, let me get those keys. All right, but I'm going to hand them to you because it's unsafe to throw them. And rude. Rude to throw them at somebody. There you go. My name's Donnie.
Watching Leonardo DiCaprio make out with an age-appropriate woman and Don't Look Up, that was hard to
Oh,
watch.
yeah. Pretty bananas.
Hard to watch.
They had to have one of those spit buckets that they have when actors are eating so he could throw up between takes.
Do they have a 25-year-old model for him to kiss afterwards? And he's like, I get that taste out of my mouth.
A fluffer.
Oh god.
Well, as far as this joke goes, Rob, I'm not really sure where to take it. You know,
The only place I would take it is a pun laden who's on first style back and forth that has to do with celebrities being inappropriate and ages. That's what it seems like to me.
There's a nice setup for some absurdity because you're doing this very classic old timey comedy routine, but then you're basically talking about pedophilia grooming, and so I think that there's a way to maybe rest the idea and then bring it back, if that makes any sense. So if you can get into it was on 11, and then this whole routine, and then at the end be like, oh. So he's a pedophile? Something along those lines, if that makes sense.
I did not think of before, and you guys did spark to make me think of, like, if I can just cross movies, cross genres, cross actors, then that makes sense, where it's like grooming. Wait, you mean like no, like when you're trying to hook up with a younger person and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you mean like Kevin Spacey? No, that's Seven. Seven? And then just keep going from there. That's crazy.
Kevin Spacey also do a movie about counting cards called 21.
He did do a good movie about counting cards called 21. That's good. I like
I
that.
love that.
You love that movie?
It's a different direction, but to button it, to be like, oh, I like his song about Kiki.
I don't know this.
Oh, that's that Drake song, Kiki, do you love me? Where people do the dance where they ghost ride.
Oh man, I wish I did.
Okay, another Drake. Okay, well, he started from the bottom. Now he's here. I don't know.
I know that one.
Or maybe he started from the top and worked his way down in age. Anyways, there's some way to button it with a Drake reference, I feel like.
Like Degrassi when he was in high school.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you go into this thing and then it's about pedophilia, and then you go to this Kevin Spacey, you go back and then you're like, oh, I liked him in Degrassi.
I see. Right.
He only loves his bed and his mom and underage kids. Never mind. Maybe no one knows that lyric.
It sounded familiar. I only love my mom and my son.
All right, homework assignment. Everybody needs to listen to Drake.
Oh, yes. There we go. When you said it in rhythm, I got it now.
I only love my bed and some kids. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I gotta wait a couple years before I have sex with my girlfriend.
Oh, God.
Yes, so that was a half idea. I've got another thing that's really just more of like a thought line that I'll just throw out to you guys.
Wait, hold on a second. First name greatest, last name at grooming underage actresses.
What's the actual Drake lyric?
First name greatest, last name ever, I think. Oh no, it's first name, last name ever, first name greatest, like a sprained ankle boy and nothing to play with.
Got it. Okay, here's a line. I can't believe it's not butter is also a great name for butter. I can't believe it's not butter. You're like, you're right.
I can't believe it's not butter. And you're right.
They should call the fake butter. I can't believe it's not butter. They should call butter. You were right to be skeptical.
This is 100% butter.
And then there's a yogurt product. It's like, why would you think this is butter?
A box of cereal. This is definitely not butter.
Broccoli, what were you thinking?
Everything in the grocery store is not butter.
It's a whole grocery store of products that are have butter in the title but aren't butter.
I think this could work as a bit. I like the way that we built on it. I think that could work as a stand-up joke where you eventually get to the place where everything at the grocery store is called blah 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 something butter.
Or that could be the intro to it. Just like, you know that stuff. I can't believe it's not butter. I think they should just have a whole store for products by them. They should branch out, and then you can go through the whole list.
Oh, that's funny.
Spend an afternoon writing up 100 different ways to say, I can't believe this is not butter.
Or what if it's like the actual like, I can't believe it's not broccoli. You're like, you're right, it's cauliflower. You're like, oh, all right.
Dizzy by Nature said buttermilk, almost, but not quite butter.
That's nice. Tangentially related, a friend of mine said, cow's milk is not meant for humans. It's meant for baby cows. And I was like, motherfucker, I eat baby cows. And then I just drink its mom's milk for like dessert. So I don't know what the point is here. When we eat cows, it's just a little weird for you to be like, that's not for you. I'm like, I probably shouldn't be eating the cow as well. So I don't know, it's just a weird, strange point.
I thought you were going to be like, motherfucker, they're called calves.
I love this. Thank you, guys.
Anything else for Rob, everybody?
Silly Rat wrote, this is definitely not butter. Condoms.
All right. We ready for Brett Drucker, everybody?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm ready for me. Are you guys ready for me? That's the real question. I got some jokes here. I'd like to see anti-maskers' reaction to getting invited to a masquerade ball.
That's what Gus
Oh
sent
my
me.
God.
Rob, you completely ruined the flow of Brett's joke.
You totally
Rob.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And it was a good joke, Brett. I
Thank
like
you.
that.
It's dead in the water, so I'm going to try a different one.
I got distracted. Gus sent me a message. I'm sorry.
I like it, Brett. I want to say, any kind of costume party almost, or
Yeah, I think it's funny to be like, I have a strong opinion about masks, but then it just covers the eyes. Or it's not a mask that is meant to be COVID or disease preventative.
what does a person who is objecting to wearing a mask say when they're like trying to go into a store or something? Is what this person says when they are at a masquerade ball, but they don't have one of those fun little masks on, So someone's like, "Oh, where's your mask?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. So you just do whatever the government tells you to do?"
Or do people who are anti-masker, do they stay consistent on Halloween? I guess is a question.
Ah, that's funny. I like that.
Like, hey, Batman, I noticed you have you're wearing your cape, but then I see Bruce Wayne from here to here. Whoa! Oh, you gonna try to tell me what to do?
Masks don't actually protect you, right? Like they don't do anything.
Bruce Wayne as an anti-masker.
I have a medical exemption. Thank you very much. I have asthma.
I know I missed it the first time around, but could I hear the joke?
No.
Oh, man. It's okay.
This one's a little bit looser, but I think it's funny that people get so upset about pronouns, because really what trans people or non-binary people are asking is like, can you just, instead of him, her, and or he, him, or she, her, can you just add a couple more alternatives to that, to your regular vocabulary? It's not like trans people are going, please respect my pronouns, and also no more prepositions. Then you would be like, you're out of your mind, and that would upset them because they'd be like, I'm what of my mind?
I like it. It's good.
Preposition of is also a preposition, though.
Oh, I'm what my mind? That's funnier.
The only thing that I think don't works is that they're not asking to
that
get
sentence?
rid of pronouns.
The only thing, yes, no, for then, correct.
The only thing Wort Knock I joke thing is
Is Jarret trans? I didn't know.
Respect his syntax.
Oh my god.
hate crime. Hate crime. Rob's gonna hate crime on me.
I like the idea of it saying like they're just asking you to.
Oh, you heard this one, Rob?
I did.
I love you, man.
I love you. I wanted to hear the other one. I'm gonna ask Gus if he'll text me. Gus, can you text me Brett's joke? I missed the joke too. Gus missed it because he was texting me.
All right, no texting with our viewers.
I didn't
By
know.
yourself.
My messenger came up. We've never even texted before. It came up. What I was gonna say about this joke was, like all they're asking you to do is to change their the pronouns that are associated with them. Like they're not asking you to do anything beyond that. They're just like, no, just the thing that you refer to me by.
That's a much simpler way to put that beginning part. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being like, they're not asking you to change language. It would be crazy if they're like, no more prepositions.
That's good. And I don't have enough of a working knowledge of grammar where I can tag this joke.
Well, I brought it specifically to you guys. I mean, because I bring all of my jokes to you guys. But also knowing, hey, one of the people I'm bringing it to is a tutor. So I thought maybe he would have some knowledge. Is there anything?
And he
that's
already did
funnier
say
than
that thing about of, you know?
I did say
That's
that
right.
about yeah, which with a what thing that was pretty funny. Made me laugh.
Is there anything that you think might be funnier? Any kind of language switch, Rob, that would come to mind for you?
Well, we are, you have your choice of verbs, pronouns, adjectives. Prepositions is pretty funny just because
Prepositions is a funny word. It's got the double P's. But
And it's
would it
more
be
obscure.
better? Would it be better if people understood it? Like if I'd said no more verbs, then the audience is already on board with the premise because everybody in the audience is going to get that.
I like the fact that it's not, funnily enough, super clear to everybody exactly what prepositions are. Like, to me, there's just a funny mystery to that. And then you get to kind of, you almost get to like teach them through your punchline. And you also get to kind of bend rules. Like the sentence that Jarret said when we were making fun of him for jokingly not getting the sentence right. Like, it's just funny because if you think of a sentence that only has nouns and verbs, just you can say anything you want and it does sound kind of like ridiculous and funny. So and it's so obvious when they're gone.
Right.
I think it's really, really funny.
Do you think it'd be funny if you said it the way that you originally said it, and then the person who originally said, "Are you out of your mind?" tells the trans person that "of" is also a position? What are we doing?
Preposition.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Like you could do the one, get corrected, do the second one. But for me, like if you just jump straight to like, "What are you out of your mind?" Am I what my mind? It's like it'll make the audience. It makes me laugh, and then also think, "Oh yeah, those both prepositions." Like it's just, I think it's super funny, so silly.
Alrighty. Anything else for this bit, y'all?
No, great edits. Maybe we can work on my other one next time when Rob's listened to it. I say it like I'm not refusing to give him the joke.
But after this episode comes out, I'm gonna have some ideas.
Tune in next week to find out Rob's feedback for Brett's first joke, everybody.
Should we wait for Leedy to get back?
Yeah. Or we can do the
Rob?
Patreon pitch while she's gone.
That's a great idea. Oh, Leedy's back. Sign up for the
Before that-
Patreon. Okay, let's go.
Sorry. What are we doing? I'm back.
Who knows a reason why you should join the Patreon?
The high writing challenge, extra content, the sleepover.
Brett, do you have something?
Yeah, there's a new episode every month, and it only costs $1 to get that. So it's a great way to support the show and keep us going. And we have past live shows that we've done for over Zoom. You have access to all of those, and yeah, it's a whole wealth of content if you want more ITA. Now, Rob interrupts my joke, Ryan.
I'm gonna be off screen, but I'm still listening. Sorry.
Nope, it's
I'm not trying
Jarret.
to be
Also,
rude.
it's Jarret Berenstein.
It is Jared Bernstein. I was like, oh shit.
What is the matter with you guys?
I already
What do
pitched
you-
3 jokes.
So it's funny that we had that little political discussion about being cynical about politics, because that's a
I
little bit
wouldn't
what
describe
my
it as funny.
joke
It was
is.
kind of funny too. And mine was more of a critique of a bad movie.
It was a great discussion.
Great
My
discussion.
my bit here is a little bit about that. All right.
Ooh, fun.
Some people say that the political parties are the same, but they're really not. Like right now, Republicans are trying to steal elections. Like they're passing laws to make it harder for Democrats to vote. They're closing down voting locations in black neighborhoods and near colleges because they know that people of color and young people tend to vote Democrat. And Democrats don't do that. And we should get a lot of credit for not doing that, because we could. It would be easy. Old people tend to vote Republican. We could pass a law like the only place you're allowed to vote now is Minecraft. Oh, you want to vote? Who's Zendaya? Nope, sorry. The correct answer is Zendaya is Michi. We are mailing ballots to every rented apartment, but it is illegal to mail a ballot to a house, because if you own your house, you need to go vote in person. Those are the 3 examples that I thought of. So this really is sort of like an interactive game, like one of Brett's jokes, where I'm like, this whole joke is just what's a funny law that we could pass that would be harder for old people to vote.
How about polling opens at 9 p.m.? All right. Voting all night. Voting rager.
I love it. Anything else, y'all?
You can only vote through your smart assistant.
Through Siri.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I will say, just as an edit to the beginning part of the joke, when you were saying we could do that as Democrats, part of me did tighten up a little bit, because I thought you were going to be like, we could keep black people down and and make it harder for them. So I think,
But we don't.
Yeah, I was like, Jared, this is a weird take.
We're so nice. Remember Brad Pitt in 12 Years a Slave? That's us. We're white saviors, guys.
That genuinely was where my brain went.
Are trying to make it harder for black people and young people to vote. And Democrats could also do that, but we're not.
So why is 10% of black people voting for Republicans? I don't understand. We give you everything.
So is there a way that I can not give that impression that I'm talking about Democrats could? I mean, I could just expand it. It's just like Democrats don't try to make it harder for Republicans to vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just jump right over it. Yeah, saying that it's the relative pronoun that that was like that just makes us fill in the blanks. Like, what does he mean by that?
Ooh, relative pronoun.
I don't have an actual suggestion, but I think that if you can button it with something that is like, it's a little bit more abstract or something like that, that Republicans all would have a natural inclination towards. I'm trying to think what that would be.
Well, you know, what'd be fun too is if you found a law that might equally help or hurt old white vote and young black vote or something like that. Just just like a fun way that it wraps around. Like okay, we found the differences, but is there one commonality where you'd be like, I guess if we did this though, that might
That might keep these people from coming as well.
So
Yeah,
what do underprivileged minorities and old
Old
white
Republicans.
Republicans have in common?
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Which is
what do you guys think about this? This isn't about old. The joke here is about old, but if I wanted to open it up to like other Republican things, it could be like Democrats have passed a law that there has to be a Toby Keith concert every November 4th. So you can either vote or go to that. Like those are your two options. I can tell by your reactions that it's not that good of a tag. So.
I missed the beginning part of it, so don't
and
take my
I never
reaction
listen.
part.
I think Gus was texting me.
He was looking at a meme at the time.
I did think of one other example is that the voting booths are unisex or all gendered.
I don't feel comfortable going into this.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable going in here.
That's great. What a great concept. Because there's so many things that like already are all gendered. Like, you go into the bathroom, there's only like one bathroom with one toilet in a place, and they're like all genders. I'm like, yeah, obviously, there's one toilet.
No, everybody get in here. Every kind of gender. You can't go unless you have every gender here.
Leedy, what do young people like these days? Because I did Minecraft for this joke, but I was also like, there's probably like a more contemporary young person thing that I could use. I was thinking about TikTok, like you have to, the only way you can register is through a TikTok dance or something. I don't even know what's more current, because I was going to say the only place you can vote now is Minecraft or Fortnite. I don't know which one of those is more of a young person thing now.
Neither of them.
Neither? Okay.
I don't feel like they're as big anymore, but I don't know. I feel like TikTok is the most young kids trendy thing right now.
Young person thing?
Yeah.
Could you remind me, Jarret, what's your argument to say that the laws are targeting young people and only young people?
Oh, because they are closing polling locations near colleges.
Do you have no white examples? Because it was just the colleges one, but then it was also voting districts that,
in
are
black
predominantly.
neighborhoods.
Right. So since you gave me, like non-white polling or neighborhoods and districts and then colleges, but then we just kind of like doubled and tripled down on the young thing. So yeah, maybe it just feels a little uneven to me, and they're like young and black versus just old type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I was trying to do there is there's all these ways that we could brainstorm that are like, how would we get Republicans to not vote? And it's like vaccine mandates, mask mandates, things like that. But then I was like, I think it'd be funnier if it was just about old people. So I guess there's not like a 1-to-1. It's more like,
okay. It's just
these
like
are the groups that tend to vote this way.
Right.
These are the votes that tend to vote this way.
You can only find polling locations on black people Twitter.
See, that's funny. I like that. Yeah, you know what? Actually, Brett brings up a good point about, or he's like touching upon a good point where of like, you're trying to say, well, what's more younger or newer than, let's say, Minecraft or Fortnite? But maybe the answer is not to like trump it with a new thing, a new fad, but rather get more specific about the fad. So you don't just say Minecraft, you say that you have to have killed the Elder Dragon in Minecraft or blah, 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 or whatever, or you have to like what Brett said. So the more specific you get, the more like, that's funny. Like he went deep into the joke of that thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it as talking about old people as opposed to talking about Republicans. Like, how would you stop a Republican voting? I kind of would prefer to keep it in like the old person. The other demographic that we know, like, these are the most Republican voters, old people and the undereducated. So if I was going to branch the joke off into another direction, it would probably be over there.
I see. I love old. Undereducated feels strange to me. It's more of an attack on the undereducated. And that's not like that's a group that is marginalized already for various reasons in various ways and taken advantage of by everybody. So, but old, you're right. There is no pretext to old. Old is just old. And for one reason or another, old people, might tend to vote Republican. So I love that concept. It's great.
Although I do think it's funny, if we're trying to keep college kids from voting by removing polling locations near colleges, maybe we could keep the undereducated from voting by putting polling locations in schools. Like,
that's funny. Yeah.
But also, that's what happens. that already happens. That already happens in
Right.
schools, you know?
Well, yeah, if you make the specific reference again to like specifically colleges, you're targeting colleges. We're not trying to target people who, the undereducated or whatever type of thing.
Yeah, this might just be it, unless you guys can think of other
I think it's a
funny-
really funny joke, and your 3 examples already made me laugh. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
really do like that.
What'd you guys, this is so dumb, but what'd you guys think of the order? Did you think any,
I liked Rob, Brett, Jarrett. That worked out. Great. I mean, great job.
I have, the only place you can vote is Minecraft. Oh, you want to vote? Who's Zendaya? And we're mailing ballots to every rented apartment, but if you own a house, you have to go vote in person. Do you think that was a good heightening, or is that all kind of linear? Or
the third one is actually my least favorite one.
Yeah, I would agree with Brett. That's my thought. It was just house, apartment. I was like, I'm not sure. Old is like, there's so much fun with old, like, if you're going to close polling locations near colleges, why can't we close polling locations near a Denny's or a diners? If we're going to do that, and then just try to think of where old people might congregate for one reason or another. It'd be like, no polling, no voting booths here.
you can either vote or see your grandkids, but you can't do both. Anything else, y'all?
No, I think that's it.
Woo! Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the notes.
Great joke.
Thanks.
And I think it's time for Leedy to show us what she has done. What has she done? She's made some art on her iPad. She's good at it. She's Leedy Corbin.
Yay!
Excellent song. Excellent song. 2 thumbs up. No notes.
0 notes. All right. First up, I have just learn the game. What? That is Steve trying to shove his gaming addiction onto you.
That's great.
Learn the game and finish this match, Brett.
Then I have walking around in women's underwear. That
Hey.
is Bob Rivers, who gave birth to Andrew Rivers. I'm assuming he is physically 2 Rivers.
Leedy, that is impressive the way that you have anthropomorphized a river to be holding a microphone. That is
That is really, yeah.
Thank
That
you.
is amazing.
impressive.
Rivers, 2 in fact.
2, yeah, Rivers,
Uh,
plural.
Then I have, oh, you like it. Then I've got, do the way.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
Thank you.
I love it so much.
Wait, do they each get happy when they get to do the wave?
Yeah, they each kind of smile.
And they're so
Then
sad
right
when it's
back.
not their turn.
They go back to Nazi neutral, which is not happy.
Very focused.
Then I've got liberals, Obama. That's just your guys' back and forth.
That's what I hear every time you guys talk like
Rob
that.
and I are we are Twitter. We are 2 liberals who disagree on like everything. We both
Really
think
funny.
the other one is so wrong. This is Twitter.
Then I have for sure not cereal.
Yeah.
For sure not butter.
Butter cereal.
Cereal. Then I have nope. Then I have manager Joe Butter. It's just my last name. And then I think
Elite.
this might be the last one. Yes, this is the last one. Last but not least, Master Oppressive. You realize that was protecting your oppressor. And that is it from me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leedy. Amazing.
Leedy
as always.
Corbin.
Ew. I'm gonna go start the other stream.
Okay, find Leedy at patreon.com/Leedy Corbin and twitch.tv/Leedy Art. And you can go watch that immediately after this. Rob, Jarrett, any final thoughts while Leedy goes and sets up?
Let's
let's go.
check out some of these comments.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Where was this energy when you were looking for a theme song for this podcast? Johnny, I'm not sure what you're in reference to here. Man.
Oh, are you saying that the theme song
Oh.
is still a placeholder song? Even though it's been months and months, and there have been several songs that have been made, 3 of which were by me, many of which were greatly enjoyed by the fans. Some of the fans actually made their own songs, and we're still using the placeholder song. Is that what you're referring to, Johnny? Because
No, I think he's referring to the song that you made up for Leedy's segment.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I think we're still in reference to all the other things that he said.
Mm-hmm.
No, it says looking for a. Where was this energy? Oh, when you were looking for a theme song for this podcast. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to air my dirty laundry.
Every week when I put the episode up, Brett, I am reminded. I was like, Brett hates this, and I gotta fix this.
And you know what? Every time I listen to it, I'm like, I hate this, and I gotta fix this, and I don't.
And then no one does.
Yep.
No, we are hoisted by our own petards. Dizzy by Nature says placeholder song still makes me laugh. So,
oh shit.
So there, Brett. 2 more years of the placeholder.
It has been long enough that I think we have to keep it.
This is a story for just while we're waiting for Brett to finish this raid thing. I've been eating a lot of soup as well because I'm sick, and what I have discovered is my new favorite meal of all time. You get well.
Well, I'm not going to click until you're done. I'm not going to click until you're done.
No, do it. It's not important.
Your favorite meal of all time? I want to hear this.
It doesn't matter.
I have to click right now. It does the countdown, but then I have to click for it to go.
Check in next week for Jarret's favorite meal of all time. Woohoo!
All right. Thanks, guys. Great app.
It was apples.
Thanks so much for watching. Check back every Monday for new episodes, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to help support the show, tell your friends how much you like Is This Anything? Or get involved, like an episode, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more Is This Anything, you gotta join our Patreon at patreon.com/ITAPod. We have a ton of awesome exclusive content on there, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. Check out the links in the description, and hopefully we'll see you next week.